Hi, I'm Kenny Anderson, Director of Multicultural Affairs for the City of Huntsville, and welcome to Impact. Each week we bring you exciting information about wonderful things that are happening across the spectrum of our community, and today will be no different. Just a little while ago, we had a chance to talk with a very special person about a program that is known both here and abroad because of the impact that it makes on foster children in this community and beyond. And we're always delighted to be able to share information about those kinds of initiatives that are happening right here in this community and make us all proud. Lee Marshall is here with us in the studio today.
Hey, Lee. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's good to have you. You know, the last time you were here, we were, of course, on set at your facility, Kids to Love, and you are the founder and CEO of Kids to Love Foundation. It's just always a privilege to have this chance to talk to you.
Well, thanks, and thanks for letting us come in and update you on all the great things that we've got going on to help kids in our community.
And that's exactly what we wanted to do too, because there have been so many wonderful things going on, and we want to take some time to talk about that. I know Davidson Farms is sort of like the pinnacle of what's happening right now, but let's maybe ease our way into that and bring people up to speed since we last talked, because we did introduce them to the K-Tech program. Tell us what that program is and tell us about all the great success you've had since we last talked.
Well, you were out at Christmas and we had our first class start with K-Tech in January. They graduated in May, and in 22 days, every one of our students had jobs. So we were excited about that. All of them passed the International Seaman Certifications exam on the first time. We are currently in our second class and interviewing now for our third class. So we just want to encourage anyone that's out there that's interested in getting a skill set in advanced manufacturing. They can go to kidstolove.org, fill out the application. This isn't just for foster children. We serve children who are aging out of foster care. We serve the vet community. We have both disabled vets and then just those who have served in the armed forces. And then we expand it to the general public. So if there's someone who wants to better themselves with a skill set, K-Tech is really an opportunity for them. We are about to be certified as an international seaman certification training facility, which is huge. Our program on the books is very young, but with what we've been able to accomplish in the short amount of time that we've launched this is unprecedented. So we're very proud of the work that all of our team has put in.
Well, congratulations. And I know this is always a perfect time to give a big shout out to the board also, because you know, you and I have talked about this before. The heart and soul of nonprofit organizations really are the volunteers, the board members, the other people that come alongside you to make this successful. So we'll give a big shout out to them as well.
Absolutely. You know, we have hundreds of volunteers that give selflessly of their time. God has given me an amazing team, a core group that has knowledge in so many facets of operations and education. There's no way that I could do this by myself. And so I'm very humbled and appreciative of the team that God has given me, because we really are making a difference in the lives of foster children.
So before we talk Davidson Farms, which we're getting there, tell us quickly about what Kids to Love Foundation is, because I know that's your heart and soul too. And we want to let people know that may be meeting you for the first time a little bit about your dream.
Well, I was a foster child. I was born into foster care. Growing up, I always knew that I was adopted. I felt it was something that made me special because I was chosen. And so when I think all of us in our career, in our life, it comes kind of like, what's your halftime? And now you have reached the pinnacles in a career that you have worked hard to do, and I was able to do that, but it wasn't enough. And so I wanted to do more. And so that's when we started the Kids to Love Foundation in 2004. And since then, we've been able to make an immediate impact on the lives of more than 200,000 children living in foster care. We do that through a variety of programs, whether it's Christmas. We did over 5,000 backpacks full of school supplies across 4 states this year. So our service is very hands-on, in the trenches, meeting the needs of these foster children, and also supporting foster families that make that choice to bring these children into their home. It is my heart, that is my passion, and I tell people that I'm motivated by the word no, unfortunately. And so when people tell me no, I just work harder. People told me that it would never get to the point of where it is now. And, you know, I love to say, well, according to this child and this child and this child, they can tell you that we are living true to our mission, and that's to meet their immediate needs.
So many years of focusing through Kids to Love, through the media. The Kids to Love Foundation comes into being in 2004. We're now sitting here at this point. What lessons have you learned throughout this journey?
It's never about you. It is never about you, and especially with this is truly a calling. This is what God has called me to do, and this is a ministry. So I think that that's the biggest thing. I cannot do it by myself. I mean, it takes the right people and the skill set and the talent, and God is just keeping those in line and bringing those. But you know, our goal is if we can make an impact in the lives of one child, then we've been successful. And we have a young lady that's starting law school this year that graduated top honors at UAH. That is just an amazing inspiration to me. We have another young man that graduated with his master's at the University of Alabama in May and is now a full-time social worker because he wants to give back. Both of those young people were Kids to Love scholars. So those are the kind of lives that we're impacting. We know that we won't be able to reach all of them, and that's hard for me to accept. But I know that the ones that we are reaching are making even a greater impact in the world that they're living in.
And you know, it's all about seed planting. It's all about finding our own soil, planting our seeds in that soil, providing the nurturance for that soil. You're not asked to save the world. You're just simply asked to do something where you are.
Absolutely.
And allow things to grow around you. And that's a great example of what the Kids to Love movement has been. So Davidson Farms, that's
talk about a seed that we're planting. That's a great big seed.
This is a big seed,
Yeah.
but tell us what Davidson Farm is. And I know you had a big event earlier this year to launch that project. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, I tell people it's a quaint little 10,000 square foot home on 10 and a half acres in Madison County. And Dr. Dorothy Davidson purchased the land when I shared the vision with her. We have so many young women in our community, tween and teen girls that just need a place to stay. They just need a home. I had social workers calling me last year saying, you know, Lee, there's one lady that received your scholarship that we don't have a place to put her. Do you have a home? And I said, that's not how this works. Our job is to recruit. Your job is to train in place. And she said, but I'm just out of resources. And so what we continue to see is just the need and a safe, loving environment. So we have got a lot of work to do on the inside. It was built extremely well. It's institutional to look at it on the inside, and we want to make it a home. So we are working with structural engineers and taking walls down and doing some renovations. Our goal is to open in May of 2017, and we have 8 bedrooms on the top floor. We are looking for the right set of house parents that will come in and take this as their home. So if there's anyone out there that feels that calling, shoot us an email. We'd love to have their application and talk to them. This really is going to take a community, and this is going to be a long-time venture. But when we talk about planting those seeds, this is the epitome of that. We know that it takes a while for a seed to grow and to nourish and to become a beautiful harvest, and that's what we're going to be able to do with the girls' lives that we bring in. So being able to be there on the front lines with these girls, you know, we've already had medical staff offer to provide medical assistance. Our community is rallying around this effort, but we still have a lot of work to do.
Absolutely. And this is, of course, one of a number of different efforts like this in the community. And I think it's interesting, too, because when you think about it, for me, there's never enough in terms of the resources necessary to really make an impact in these young people's lives. And in many ways, this initiative is really filling a gap, because you think about all the different programs you can send young girls to, but then where can they live? They come from environments and very challenging situations that really we want to, as caregivers, take them out of to give them the best chance to survive. And Davidson Farms really becomes that opportunity for them.
It does. You know, we just want it to be a safe haven. Children in foster care are just bombarded with issues that force them to grow up a lot quicker than they need to. Children in foster care see things that would probably haunt us at night. And so we know that we've got our work cut out for us. But when these girls come in, I want to be able to say to them, we will provide you a loving, stable environment. We will give you an education. We will give you a chance at a better life. and here are the rules. And as long as you respect those and obey those, you're welcome to stay. If that's not what you want to play by, then you need to leave. So we're looking at, from an operational standpoint, what are the absolutes as someone applies to live there. You know, it's just like K-Tech and all of our other programs. It won't be for everyone. We will have a very strict and stringent application process and interview process, because we want every girl at that house to be successful.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're working toward.
And I imagine the curriculum, if I could call it that, will involve some academic kinds of things, some spiritual development things, some character development things.
Definitely character development.
Social engagement and interaction,
Right.
maybe some community service, but just kind of a holistic approach to dealing with their lives.
And what we've already done at Davidson Farms, because on the 10.5 acres, we have put in a leadership course on the back of that farm. And so our first 2 K-Tech classes have already gone through that leadership course, and it teaches teamwork and working together, troubleshooting, and that's something that we will expand to the girls that live at Davidson Farms. We will offer that to social workers. We'll offer that to the community. If there are sporting teams and their coaches, if you've got a problem and people aren't getting along, this is a great program to teach that leadership, and where they can learn their strengths and identify their weaknesses, and then how can I work together with my teammates where we are a better group together when we see those strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, so what can the community do to provide support for this awesome initiative that is transformational? I think this is a real game changer for a lot of the people that will be touched.
I tell people, when people say, what are you doing? I say, I'm a cultural disruptor, because we are disrupting the culture of poverty, of foster care that we know it. There are a lot of ways, like every other nonprofit, money, that's the biggest thing. We have rooms that at a certain level of donation, people can have the rooms named after them. So I would encourage people, if they're looking at leaving a legacy, this would be a really neat way to do that, to honor someone. We had a lady come in, and her grandmother was a librarian and was an inspiration in her life. And so she is naming the library in the home in memory of her grandmother. So money is always needed. We need people that can help us with this renovation. We need painters and woodworking and flooring, all those kind of things. Just think of any kind of renovation at your house. We need people who will come along beside us to help us with meal preparation. Taking on a home of this magnitude with 8 girls, that's a lot of logistics, and so that's what we're looking at. People with that can volunteer with very specific skill sets of organizing and cooking and cleaning and all of those kind of things. So we have yet to fire a volunteer. We may have to reassign you if it's finding the right thing for you, but I just encourage people to go to kidstolove.org and find out more about what we're doing, and just really pray about how they can get involved. And if you think, well, I've got a skill set, but a nonprofit could never use that, don't be so sure.
Yeah.
Don't be so sure.
I'm glad you said that too, because a lot of people look out there and they say, they probably have more help than they need. There's no reason for me to jump in, and you definitely know that's not the case.
No, and and we're thankful for the Army of Volunteers that help us achieve Christmas and school supplies every year. But Davidson Farms is going to be a different breed, because we need people that will sign up and support it long term, because they're actually going to be there in the lives of these girls.
Yeah.
And we don't want that to be a transient placement at all.
Yeah, Lee Marshall, she's the CEO and founder of the Kids to Love Foundation.
Chief garbage emptier and chief bottle washer, and that's really what that means.
And that's why I like Lee so much, because she keeps it real, and that's the reality of being in charge. That if you aren't, I was saying to someone the other day, effective leaders learn how to lead well because they learn how to serve well. And one of the greatest dysfunctions of leadership today is that the leaders have never learned how to serve, and you obviously have done that. We thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you, Kenny.
And kidstolove.org.
Come see us.
Okay, we want people to do that. Thanks for coming by to see us.
Thanks for the opportunity. Appreciate that.
We're waiting for our opportunity. We're going to do an on-set live shot at Davis Farms.
You need to come and see it. I mean, the pictures are amazing, but when you step in that house, that's some holy ground. I'm just warning you.
All right. Well, we're ready for it. Lee Marshall, always a pleasure to talk with her about the great work that she's leading in the community, and always attributing her success to the fact that she's a very humble person when it comes to serving others and bringing other people alongside her to make things possible. and to transform the lives of people throughout our community. We thank her for the efforts through Kids to Love Foundation. We hope that you will definitely check out kidstolove.org so that you can get more information about not just that foundation, but especially Davidson Farms. And she'd love to hear from you so that you can find out how you can be supportive of her efforts. We also invite you to like our Facebook page, which is Impact with Kenny Anderson, where you can see a video of the show that you just watched, as well as behind the scenes shots of the broadcast. Until next time, we hope that you have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you again soon.